back. It's been like a week. I'm trying to be more consistent. I don't know if I'm doing a very good job. Welcome to WIP ICU. It's my new segment where my family members don't feel like finishing their WIPs, and so they pawn them off onto me and I finish them for them. I have a couple of projects right now and I'll show them to you. Just know that the resolution's probably not going to come for a while. So the first thing is my mother-in-law. She started the Edna sweater by, and I never know how to say it, Yindling's Ting. Anyways, she started her own sweater from it. And she's done a fine job. There's a couple of spots that she's not too happy with. And then at some point when she joined the body in the round, things went really awry. And I don't think she was reading the charts in the correct direction. And so she's given it to me to fix. I'm your WIP doctor, Dr. House. We have vastly different tension. She's a very loose knitter and I am not. So I'm going to have to probably rip it completely back. She's knitting this in Pure Gint, colorway 6581. Her hair is all over every skein of yarn in here. I'm actually really excited to knit this again. The first time that I knit it was my first time ever doing cables in general, and they're really fun. The pattern was super easy to follow along with. The problem was I do really bad with deadlines, and not that I can't meet them, they just stress me out really bad, and so I'm willing to rush, and I'm not really willing to frog back or tink back to fix mistakes. So the one that I have isn't super flawed, but I couldn't figure out where I was at on the chart at one point, and so I bound off the body early. And I also think I have bound off earlyitis, and so it was way more cropped than I was hoping for, and it did not grow as much as I was hoping for. Maybe at a later date, after I finish this one, I might consider deconstructing that sweater. As much as I love it, I really want to deconstruct it and knit it again and be a little bit more careful and intentional, because it is such a beautiful sweater and it is so comfy, but I don't reach for it as often just because of where it hits me on my body. So my next project, my sister-in-law gave me. She moved out here in 2023, right? Yeah, that sounds right. 2024. A couple months after we did, and this project has been in a box for several years. And unfortunately, some mice got to it before she could finish it. It is a wavy striped crochet blanket. I started it completely over. She said she wanted queen size, so I cast on 400, or I chained 420 stitches, thinking that it would shrink up a little bit with the waving pattern. And it didn't shrink up as much as I thought it was going to. So this is probably going to be more like a king size blanket. And I did the math, and I'm pretty sure I need to do roughly 81 rows in order for it to be the same length as a king size or queen size blanket. And I have completed, like 5.5. And going one direction takes me a little over an hour. So, oh, you know what? Actually, while we're here, I'm starting a new series where I want to kind of break down the time, cost, materials, notions, pattern, etc., for how much it costs to complete one project. Because I have had a lot of inquiries from people that I love dearly about making them a sweater. And I would love to make family members a sweater. The problem is I don't really have sweater gifting income at this point in my life. And whenever I do have yarn budget, I would prefer to spend it on myself or my kids, because this is something that brings me joy. There are often times where I want to wear what I'm knitting. And as fun as a gift knit is, I don't want to do them all the time, because I do have 4 kids that I knit for in addition to myself. There's been a misconception amongst people who have inquired that it only takes a few skeins to make an entire sweater, and that's just not the case, unfortunately. I wish it was. Trust me, I wish it was. If any of my loving family members are watching this right now, one sweater roughly takes anywhere from, I would honestly say 10 to 15 skeins. The gray sweater that I made in the Edna was 14 skeins. This Phoenix sweater used 9.5. And if each skein is roughly $9 to $16, the yarn, like the cost of yarn up front, is roughly $90 to $200. And then there's time. And I know that the perception is that I knit quickly. Not accurate. I maybe don't post about it when I first start it, and then I post about it as soon as I finish it. But I would say that it takes me anywhere from like 1.5 to 2 months to knit one sweater. That is with me working on it for all of my free time. Also with me working on something on the side. I've had a busy couple of months with gift knits for friends' kids. And that's been so fun, especially because with kid stuff, you can kind of be a little bit more scrappy with it and it looks adorable on them no matter what. But it's not really the vibe I'm going for myself usually. And then, I think that if people really knew how much it cost someone to make something, not that they wouldn't want it, but maybe they'd appreciate it more. Because I do always hesitate when specific people ask me for something, because I want to know that it's going to be taken care of. Like, those are sometimes hundreds of hours worth of my time that if you're not willing to take care of it and wash it correctly or store it correctly, then it can be really frustrating as the person who's giving the gift. I don't know, because I don't want it to be misconstrued that I don't love to gift knit. I know I joke about it a lot, but I mean, I'm certainly not going to make it for a stranger, and I really don't want to monetize my hobby. I know I have a lot of really well-meaning family members and friends who are always like, oh, you could sell this. Mama, I don't want to. But anyways, this is huge. Sorry to go off topic. This is huge. I have tons of different colors for it. It's going to be crocheted in Cascade 220 worsted superwash. And I'm interested to see how the superwash grows. I didn't swatch this at all. And by the way, this is like a double crochet, wavy, somewhat rib textured in between the rows. And it's really cool. But yeah, it's taking a minute. And I have an awesome sister-in-law, and she really has very low expectations as far as a timeline goes. And that's kind of what this is like, in between waiting for my yarn to get here, I really just needed something to work on to keep my hands busy. Speaking of waiting for yarn to come, I showed you guys the yarn that I ordered from Wool & Co. that is knitting for Olive, and it's still not here. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, but I mean, I ordered it June 28th or 9th. Today is July 10th. That's like unheard of for Wool & Co. And so I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that it was just lost in shipping. So I emailed them, let them know, and then same day I got a shipping update saying that it was still in the same warehouse, but that it had finally been scanned. So either they got a hold of USPS and they found the package and hadn't shipped it out yet, or maybe it just got lost in between the Wool & Co. warehouse and USPS. So no hard feelings, but I now have to rush. I did order some buttons for it. I don't know where they went. Where did they go? Maybe I can throw a picture up. But while I've been waiting for that yarn to get here, I ordered some more Sandnes Garnline in the colorway dusty green, maybe. I'm going to use that to knit the Bloomlet poncho. A lot has changed since our last WIP Wednesday update, and that's my bad. I started to use this Ritual Dye Maiden Loam. It's a fingering weight 2-ply yarn, and it's beautiful. I started to use it for the Bloomlet poncho. First of all, freaking fiasco. I cast it on, I did the first pattern, that's the word, chart, and then I immediately screwed it up and started the next round of like eyelets, and instead of doing them off-centered, I just was stacking them up, and I got pretty far along, maybe like 4 or 5 pattern repeats before I realized it, and then I was like, okay. So I frogged it, rewound it, and just decided to go with the recommended yarn. Shocking how going with the recommended yarn can sometimes really save you a headache too, as far as, I think I was just trying to say that this yarn is just going to be too thick held double, and it would have been a very dense, warm fabric, which would have maybe been great for winter, but mama, it's still the dead of summer. And so I knew I still wanted to make the Bloomlet poncho. I ordered the Sandnes Garnline. it's actually going to be here today. So it beat my KFO order, also from Wool & Co. Bummer. But, you know, it's supposed to be here tomorrow, like the KFO. So as soon as it gets here tonight, I'm just going to be rotating through these 3 projects. This project, I am so... Where did you go, Mama? I'm so freaking excited about. This is the Le Petit Raglan by... Oh, I'm going to butcher how to say her name. I'll put it on the screen. She's so cute. And I have been looking for a negative ease raglan top exactly like this with the same... I love this kind of like... What is it called? A cap sleeve. I find that they're just so much more flattering on my body type. And I know everyone's like, don't worry about everything being flattering, Mama. I don't want to knit something for a million hours that's not going to look good on me. I'm so sorry. Like, don't get me wrong. I love a XXL Harley Davidson t-shirt and some undies, but if I'm going to spend all my time making this, I do unfortunately want it to look good on me. But I started this 2 days ago. Like I said, it's a fingering weight yarn, this ritual dye is, and it's held single, which is totally fine, but it is taking me forever, and there's so much purling involved. I have never... Oh wait, let me just hold it up for you so you can see. There are buttonholes made every couple of rows on the right side, and I think it takes 25 buttons depending on how long you knit it. I have a longer torso and I got bigger boobs than the pattern I had probably accounted for, which is fine. So I'm probably gonna have to knit it just a little bit longer than the recommended pattern. And I ordered 3 different colors of buttons. I ordered a pink, blue, and a green. And it didn't say what size millimeter for the buttons. So I think I did 10, maybe 12, 10 to 12, maybe. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But I ordered them from Etsy and they should be here sometime soon. Maybe within the next couple weeks, but definitely before my trip. So I'm very excited about that. I was, if you remember, or if you watched last week, I said that I was going to knit potentially the cloud sweater or the cloud blouse, and heck no. I really don't know why I didn't. I think I just didn't want to do the math for how long that was going to take me, or do the math for how many yards I would need. So it was just easier to pick something where I didn't have to guess. And then I would be so devastated if I got to the end of the project and had like half or a quarter of a sleeve left and had to order an entire hank, because these hanks were very expensive and I did use a gift card to get them. So what I love about this pattern too is she uses lifted increases. I have never done an increase like that ever, and I think that that is the coolest way to have really clean increases, both going to the right and left of your stitches. Never done it before. I could provide an update for the blanket here, except a bird just hit my window. I swear every single morning, not even remotely joking, a bird hits our window. Anyways, I was just kind of like gonna hang out with you guys for a minute. I really want to do more vlog style stuff with knitting. The only problem is I'm not intentionally trying to exclude my kids from my content, but I'm also never intentionally trying to include them in my content. And they really, really are... Is it appropriate to call them hoes? They love to be behind the camera. They are not shy. Or they love to be in front of the camera. They are not shy. Lately, I've been trying to remind them that, like, this is my thing. Get out of mommy's shot. Okay, go over there. Go out, get out of mommy's shot. And they just don't want to. They have stuff to say. They want to update you guys on things they're doing. And sometimes I let them just to let them, and then I'll just never upload it, which is kind of how I prefer it. And then I'll clip it together and show it to them for their viewing pleasure only. But then that kind of makes it really hard for me to record during the day. I mean, right now their schedule is such that they're all down for quiet time at the same time, which is a beautiful thing. And I wish that for every single one of you. It's been, since having a baby, months in the making, but really truly years in the making. And so let me just kind of tell you what my schedule is right now. Right now, I'm waking up not before my kids. I was doing that for like 4 days and I thought it was life-changing. And then I pulled a couple of almost all-nighters that really wrecked me. And I don't know why that's been my sleep schedule for so long, but like I truly don't know how to get on top of it. And I don't take melatonin, and I'm not willing to take a sleep aid. And I spend a lot of time. Okay, anyways, you guys don't care. But our schedule is such that I'm up maybe 10 minutes before them just to brush my teeth and comb my hair and put on clothes. Then I go and get them up. We all have breakfast together. I do some practice reading with my oldest. And then we do puzzles for a little bit while I clean up breakfast. Then we are pretty much outside from, I don't know, 9 until 12 when I start to make them lunch. And those 3 hours are beautiful, but none of them are me knitting. It's usually me doing yard work, which I should take you guys for a tour of my yard. I really, really should. Maybe that'll be my next video. You guys want to do yard work together? Our yard is huge. We have been so lucky to rent from some people who own this home in this beautiful, beautiful area. So I've been kind of trying, as someone who is very, very afraid of being outside, I've been trying to be deliberate about going outside every single day and working in the yard. And holy hell, it's a full-time job. Yeah, forget 3 hours. I should probably be spending an entire 12-hour shift outside. But it is at the point of the year where it's getting so hot, and I'm regretting so deeply that I did not do more spring work, which didn't know that was a thing. Guys, my formative years were in Arizona. We had rockscaping, which I actually believe to be superior. Less weeds, no mowing, no watering your lawn, and you can really focus on beautifying it. It is a bitch to sweep. So I've been spending a lot of time out there. Man, dang it. I never think to take a before and after. And so yeah, I would be a terrible, terrible lifestyle influencer because I'm just like not thinking about that. But anyways, we've been trimming trees, trimming bushes. Y'all know about the snake bush. It's also a spider bush, and we probably have more shrubs on the property than trees. Our plot is 5 acres, but I would realistically say that we are only tending to 1.5, maybe 2, because the rest of it is just not landscaped. It's not been cleared. You know, it's a lot of pasture and it's beautiful. I need to take you guys for a tour. But anyways, we're super appreciative of being able to be here. And I do feel like this has been really good exposure therapy for my OCD and the contamination aspect, and really just being outside and kind of trying to form a genuine love for yard work and working with my hands and being dirty and being in spaces that I know are inhabited by something else. I wish I could do more. I wish I had 4 hands. I also wish that my kids didn't undo everything I was doing as I was doing it. Where were we going? Oh, yeah, so I mean, those 3 hours are eaten up by landscaping. Then I give my kids lunch, and by like 12:45, everything's cleaned up. Everyone's been fed. I give them a little cloth wipe down because I do not F with dirt in their sheets. They change out of their play clothes, and they're just in their inside clothes, which, call me what you want, I ain't dirty. Messy, but never dirty. I put them down at like 12:45, and then I go, and y'all aren't gonna like this one either, I go lay in the sun. I do. It's restorative. And I listen to my audiobook, and I'm only out there for like maybe 20 minutes before I've actually sweat so bad I'm dripping. Then I'll do a quick perimeter check of the house, make sure my kids didn't leave any valuables outside, because we do have 2 farm dogs that treat everything like it's a bone. And then I come inside, I shower, and by this point it's like 1:45. And then after you shower, what do you gotta do? Self-care. So I am lotioning, oiling, blow drying. It's intense, but it's worth it to be soft and slippery. Ew. And then by that point, it's like 2:30, like it is right now, and I'm trying to record, and it's like, okay, anything I could have vlogged should have happened hours ago. I need to get out of my own head. I think I've been in kind of a funk lately in general. You know, they say you can't give 100% to 2 things, and there are times where I'm like, I really want to give social media and content creation my all, just because I do find so much joy in it, and I do think it's important, so important for your kids to see their parent have an interest, but especially their mother. I feel like kids need to know that when they grow up and when they decide to have their own families, your entire identity does not need to be that you are a parent. It is a huge part of your identity, but it is not the only piece of you that is important. And I think that by maintaining these slower filling hobbies that don't really take me away from my kids, it just gives me something that's separate and also fulfilling. Does that make sense? And it's also just such a calming thing. But I think that, for one, there's only so much content I can create around knitting when I only have so much time to do it. My close personal best friend, Camille, she and I were talking about, it's like so unreasonable for people to have like 10 finished WIPs a month. I'm kind of a 10 WIPs period going on at all time. Clearly. I just don't want to fall into the trap of mass making things for myself. I do feel like I've been pretty intentional with making yarn. Well, picking patterns that I'm really interested in knitting. And then also, your girl is trying not to end up with an injury. I hurt my arms so bad a couple of weeks ago trying to rush knit a Hani cardigan for my grandma, and somehow I don't have any finished pictures of that, and I'm so devastated. Maybe I can send her a text and ask her to take a selfie. But I knit her a Hani and it was beautiful, but I had like less than 30 days to make it. And I said to you, I am more of a month and a half to 2 months kind of gal, and even that is pretty quick for me. And the first Hani I knit, I started in February and didn't finish until close to April. So that should tell you a lot about how rushed I felt trying to make that. And then I was also super excited because at the same time that I cast on my Hani, I had cast on my Phoenix, and I was really excited about that. So I was just bouncing back and forth between WIPs. And I was also trying to put out the Salem sweater tutorial. I do want to give more attention and more quality to the things that I'm putting out there. I think there are times where I get really excited about an idea and then I try to execute it too quickly and then it's just garbage. Sometimes I don't want to waste the effort I put into it, so I will post it anyways. And then obviously it doesn't do well. And of course, posting on social media isn't always about just doing well. And it is something that I truly love. I mean, guys, I make pretty much $0 doing this. Clearly, I really, really like it. I find so much joy in sharing these kinds of things. I'm really passionate about being a mom, but not having my identity in being in that space. You know? Do you? Do you know? Do you know what I'm talking about? I've kind of wanted to shift my content a little bit more from knitting and being a mom to just a more encompassing view of who I am. Let's riff for a second. You guys are my panel and you guys can tell me if this is a good idea or a bad idea, but I'm really, really passionate about community. And we talked about this in my controversial opinions episode where I was saying, you know, the phrase everyone wants a village, but no one wants to be a villager. I have very strong opinions about that. However, I think the root cause of that phrase is that a lot of people just don't know how to be a villager. They don't know where to start. It's a really vulnerable thing to start. And I think the expectations for the outcome are extremely high. And so I'm kind of debating, I'm kind of tossing around the idea of a series where I show people how to build community. My husband and I have moved 6 times in the last 8 years that we've been married. But I have moved 3, 4, 5, 6. I have moved 12 times over the course of my 28 years. To build a new friend group from scratch is really stressful. It's really intimidating, but I think it is magnified when you become married first and then a mother. And then obviously with any type of move, those things, it's just really hard. And I sympathize for people who are the first of their group of friends to do it, and people don't know how to do it. I don't know how else to say it. I think that people just kind of expect that other people want to have the same thing. Maybe a little mini series on here or on my Instagram and TikTok about how to build community, because I do feel like once you do it, it's so worth it for one, and two, it's so much easier the next time you have to do it. There are people who are way more shy or way more introverted and not likely to put themselves out there in that way for fear of being rejected, and I completely understand that. But I just think you're not the only person who wants community, but you might have to be the first person to get the ball rolling, and that's okay. And it's going to be uncomfortable, and I think a lot of the times you're going to be let down by the outcome, by the feedback, by the people who you are trying to connect with, and that's okay. I think that it'll build a really healthy service-oriented attitude when it comes to friendships, and knowing that it's not always give and take. Sometimes it's give. That's okay too. It doesn't make it a toxic relationship. I think people just truly are oblivious. There was something else that I was thinking about talking to you guys about. Oh, okay. Actually, for the knitting podcast, I kind of want to end with a segment. I'm not doing much knitting. Sorry. If you're new here, I don't really knit while we talk. Anyways, I want to do a film review. Okay. My sister-in-law and I have started a movie club. It's a club of 2 people. Sometimes it'd be like that. We either watch a brand new movie together or we are introducing each other to movies that we've seen and loved. The first week we watched Dan in Real Life. I love a rom-com. I love Steve Carell. I love Right Person, Wrong Time. As long as it's resolved, don't ever not have a resolution. That'll piss me off. It was sweet. It was tender. I feel like I had a couple moments where I needed to close my eyes because I'm the kind of person where if a cringy scene comes on, I'll skip it or close my laptop. I really liked it. I loved the nostalgic early 2000s feel of it all. I believe it came out in like 2008. And my sister-in-law and I were talking, we're like, man, they just don't build houses like that anymore. That cabin, I don't know if they live in it full time, but that cabin or house or whatever it is precious to me. And something I love about revisiting older movies is one, set design, and two, low-key yearning to go to that place and visit it in the time that it was filmed. My sister-in-law was like, oh, we need to go there. She's like, I want to go there so bad. I was like, let's just go. I think that'd be fun. I want to do a New England road trip. We used to live in North Carolina, and the furthest north that I had gone was Virginia. I kind of regret that. I don't know why. And it was pre-kid too. I'm an idiot. My husband was in the army, and like I could have gone and done so much more exploring, and I don't know why I didn't. So what do I rate Dan in real life? 4 out of 5, just based on like general interest, but 5 out of 5 because it helped me to understand my sister-in-law just 1% better, and I love her, and I can see why she would love it. And I would 100% watch it again, and I would definitely recommend to a friend. Next movie that we watched, Hamnet. Camille, dude, why would you recommend that to me? That was devastating. I don't think I have ever had a movie stick with me so long term after seeing it. Mind you, it's only been like 48 hours since I watched it, but I've thought about it several times a day since. Sobbed. I think that it is a highly emotional thing to watch someone even act as if they lost a child. And for one, it just gave me a really, really deep appreciation for modern medicine. Oh my gosh. But two, it also kind of pissed me off that why are houses not built like that anymore? I'm sick of my house looking like a dentist's office. Not my house, other people's houses. My house is actually really cute. I would give you guys a really good tour if, one, it was organized enough. Two, I could keep it long and clean. Oh my gosh. I would give you guys a tour if I could keep it clean long enough to show you every room. And three, if I had it better decorated. That is another thing. Anyways, in the film, the houses are very bare bone. I just kept admiring how clean every surface looked. And what I really love about that set design was just how simple and earthy and gentle and muted the whole thing was. I feel like you really were drawn to, how do you say her name? Agnes. And her features and her clothing and her interaction with her children. It also made me really want to be a forest witch so bad. It's never too late. The wind was giving me such bad anxiety. When she went out to give birth in the forest, bad, terrible, horrible anxiety. That was the other thing where I was like, oh, man, I'm so glad I didn't have to give birth back then. And then my sister-in-law was like, well, she's a forest witch. And I was like, oh, you're right. It's like a doctor giving birth in a hospital. Second nature. It was beautiful. It also had me realizing that I really didn't understand Hamlet, the play, as a kid. Well, I say kid. As a 16-year-old in a English class, senior English class, like I really was just reading words just to read them. I wasn't really digesting them. And my sister-in-law and I, after the movie had finished and the final scene of the play had cut, we were both like, what was that play about? I wish I had my search history. It was literally like, explain Hamlet to me, not ChatGPT, guys. And honestly, I'm at the point where, is Google even better? Anyways, Googled explain Hamlet to me as if I am a 5-year-old. Full story. And like I understand it a little bit better now, but low-key William Shakespeare was just throwing out word salad, poem soup. Like, I don't know. And I said to my sister-in-law, I was like, if anyone truly understands this, you're pretentious. Said with love, but you're pretentious. Although now I understand it. The watered down version. Send me recommendations for movies we should watch. I think some of the other ones that we have on our list, we both agreed that we needed something with more brevity next time because that really wrecked us. We both have kids, and we both were like, if any of our kids die, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't say this. If either of us lose a child, because I mean, what can you do? Like, you can't stop living for the kids that you do have, but there's not a single fiber of my being that would want to be here without a single one of my children. And, okay, not me crying. Just a very heavy theme. So watch with caution, and my peace and love to any of you who do choose to watch a comedy after. But my sister-in-law and I said that we needed to watch something with a little bit of brevity next time and kind of keep it on the rom-com side of things. The Holiday with Cameron Diaz and Jack Black and Jude Law. And what's the girl's name? Kate Winslet. Love. I remember my mom had that DVD in her giant armoire, and it was PG-13, and I was like 9 or 10 maybe. And I was like, oh, I want to see that so bad. Jude Law is so hot. So I took the DVD from their armoire, and I grabbed the portable DVD player from the basement that we used for road trips, and I plugged it in underneath my bed. I don't remember if it was like a chargeable one, a rechargeable one, or if it had to be plugged into something. Bring back DVD players. Anyways, I remember plugging it in underneath my bed and waiting until everyone in my family went to bed, and then laying under there. My bedroom was right across from my parents, and I remember watching it for the first time. It was like 10 p.m. and I didn't finish it till like almost 11:30. I'm a 10-year-old. I had no business watching that. So good though. And I watched it probably 20 more times before my mom realized the DVD was missing from her room. And then, like, she wasn't really mad. She was just like, why were you watching that? And I'm like, I don't know. Jude Law. Which now as an adult, I'm like, Jude Law? He's all right. Paul Mescal. Anyways, this was fun. Oh, last order of business. One of you cuties reached out to me for the Santa's Garlina, and I'm sending it off. And I think that that's something I kind of want to start doing more often, is leftover remnants from yarn, from projects. I'm going to ship to people who watch. So tell your friends, or maybe don't. Well, please do. You don't have to tell them. Okay. Anyways, literally marketing against myself. But yeah, keep an eye out when I finish projects. Like, I know I'll definitely have yarn left over from this. And as we discussed, I really don't want anything else with this yarn. So when I finish it, I'll put out how much meterage I have, maybe some inspo for the yarn, and then maybe I'll do a giveaway type deal where I'll pick from the comments. Maybe I'll put it on Instagram. I don't know. Unclear. But yeah, knitting is really beautiful and fun and cool and sexy and exciting to me. And I want everyone else to be able to enjoy it. But I also know the startup costs of getting into knitting are not a priority for everyone, especially in this economical climate. So I want to do my part and help where I can. And if that is you, and you have a small project that you're looking, it'll never be a sweater's quantity. Maybe I'll partner with my wallet at some point in the future. Or if I ever start making money from YouTube or whatever, I can set aside a portion to go towards buying a sweater's quantity of yarn for someone and giving it away. Because I do really love the idea of getting to know you guys better. I love when you guys message me. I truly feel like I have made some of the coolest friends and connections since posting, and if it's ever a desire of yours, I strongly encourage you to do it. It can be weird and a little bit uncomfortable at first, but the people who like you will be interested in the people who don't. They might hate watch and give you the views anyways. So, who is your least favorite male actor and female? Yeah, who do you hate?